Uh,
Perfect.
you, you may see me fiddling with this, but I can't sit still for long, so I need to do something with my hands.
That's
I'm sorry about
oh, don't be sorry. This is not professional. I promise you.
that.
I don't know
Amazing.
what
That's
I'm doing,
great.
so
That's
I'm just
great.
winging it. I'm just winging it here.
Great. Me too. So I feel
Good.
great about that.
Well, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, are you in the Netherlands?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I
what I
am.
thought. Okay.
Yeah, like 40 minutes from Amsterdam.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Yeah, I actually have one of the guys that has a YouTube channel as well, Airsoft channel. We've been
Hmm.
following each other for 3 years that we've had our channel, and I did a podcast with him probably a couple months ago, and
Hmm.
so same time difference, you know.
Yeah,
So
like
you
six
guys are,
hours.
yeah, 6 hours ahead of us. Yep. Heck yeah. Well, it's cool to have you on here. I started following you on Instagram not long ago, I guess,
Hmm.
and I've reached out to a bunch of people. I reach out to a bunch of people to see if they want to be on, and most people that have been on here, this is their first time being on
Hmm.
a podcast. Is this your first
Yeah.
time?
Yeah, my first time too. Yeah.
Awesome.
Never been
Cool.
on a podcast before, so it's well, I'm a little awkward with it, but I think it should be fine.
Oh, you're gonna do great. You're gonna do great. We're just the way I don't have a set like format the way I do this.
Hmm.
I treat this kind of like if you came to our house for a cookout or a barbecue
Hmm.
and we were just standing outside talking. That's what we do. Like
Okay.
it's what a big, not a big deal. I don't know a whole lot about airsoft as far as like all the models of guns and all that, all that kind of stuff. So
Hmm.
it's really relaxed. We're not talking like how to fix gearboxes in here. Okay.
Okay,
So
that's great because I don't know anything about that. I have a few guys that fix all my guns for me if anything's broken, so that's good. That's
yeah,
great.
good. Yeah. Well, the couple I did a podcast with last night, they, the guy, they're actually both really, uh, really smart with and a lot of experience with fixing and upgrading all their stuff, whatever. So he was going over all kind of tech stuff. I was like, man, I'm learning a ton. Like there's so much stuff I didn't even know about that he was talking about.
That's
Yeah.
great.
So I've worked
Always
on
fun.
I worked on a few. I've worked on a few, like I fixed some gearboxes and stuff. But when we
Hmm.
first started our channel, these guys, like if two of them are my sons and one of them is their best friend that play, and something would break and they would say, hey, think you could fix this? I'm like, I'll try, whatever. So I was just kind of winging it from the beginning, like, let me take this thing apart and figure out. And I remember the one of them, the first one I took apart, I didn't know about the spring and all these things that could like pop out.
Hmm.
I take the
Oh,
top off
yeah,
and
that's dangerous.
shit just goes
You,
everywhere.
and you lose everything so quick 'cause they're
Oh,
tiny,
the
tiny
tiny
parts.
springs? Yes. I remember I lost the spring, one of the springs that's like by the trigger thing or whatever, and
Hmm.
it was real tiny, and my floors in here are dark. So it was like
Hmm.
blending in. I was like, bro, I'm not gonna find this stuff. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really awful. So
Oh yeah.
that's also a reason I just don't touch the guns. I don't open them up unless I really, really have to. But
Right.
I prefer to do it with someone else with me there who knows how to fix those guns because I'm never gonna learn, honestly.
It's a lot. And each one is different.
Hmm.
So I remember I think the last one I worked on, it was a version 3 gearbox. It was it was a sniper rifle, H&K
Hmm.
something, I can't remember, but it was the hardest gearbox I had ever worked on up to that point. And I could not get everything back together. Like I didn't have enough fingers and hands to hold everything in while I put the top on. I remember I was holding
Hmm.
everything and I called one of my sons like, "Come here. hold this thing down so I can put this or put the cover on, it was a mess. Like it fell apart and popped out like 3 times before we could get it back together. I said, this is the last one I'm doing. That's it.
Mm. It's a frustrating hobby, airsoft is.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what one of the guy I was talking with last night, he was saying, so many people in airsoft, when they get into airsoft, they spend so much money trying to figure out like what they want, what to upgrade, and then it doesn't work, or
Mm-hmm.
they can't get it back together right. All these different things that go into it, and end
Mm-hmm.
up spending so much time and money on stuff that
Yeah.
like they don't end up using because they can't get it working right.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, my boyfriend had that same problem, and that's part of the reason he stopped playing airsoft. So that's why I only go for airsoft guns that I know work straight out of the box, and
Hmm.
I don't have to do any upgrades. And if I do, it's like simple upgrades like the barrel,
Right.
or something like that, but no real big changes.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I just keep it easy for myself.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't even touch them anymore. And these guys have bought, they bought more expensive guns that are really
Hmm.
reliable. They don't have to do anything with them, so it's been good.
Yeah,
So, how
yeah.
did you get into airsoft in the beginning, or how
Well,
long
my
you been playing?
boyfriend actually.
Yeah.
I've been playing for I think about 5 or 6 years now in total. Well, my boyfriend actually called me one day and asked if me and a friend of mine wanted to join them airsofting, and well, I said yes because I was interested in it. He was also a beginner at that time. He didn't really expect me to say yes to that question, so he was like, uh, "What? What? Did you say yes?" Yeah, I just said yes. I want to go airsofting with you. So we went to a location nearby, and well, it was actually pretty fun. There is still somewhere on the internet a picture of me with gigantic goggles on because I didn't have contact lenses at that time, but you do need safety glasses, of course. So I had gigantic goggles over my normal glasses so I could see something. That's
Right.
pretty handy when in the
Yeah. Right.
field. And I was also wearing his clothes, and well, there's a huge height difference between us, so I looked ridiculous, and I actually got pretty well mean, funny, mean comments on that picture.
I'm
Um,
sure.
I should post it sometime. Actually, it looked amazing. It was really great. So after that first time, well, I think it took me a week to buy my first gun,
Mm.
and well, in the Netherlands we have a what do you call it? An organization
Yeah.
to which you have to register to get and legally obtain and store airsoft guns in your home.
Right.
So I immediately applied, bought my first gun within the first week after that game. So,
Yeah.
yeah, since then I've been hooked.
That's good. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
Chris
it's
was
been
telling me.
really
The
fun.
guy I talked to that's in the Netherlands as well. He was explaining that when we did the podcast about the I forget what it's called, the NF, the whatever you guys have in the Netherlands. That
And ABV, yeah,
yeah, that's it.
yeah.
So he was explaining that and how that works because we don't have that here in America. And
Hmm.
it was in fact the time that I was talking with him, they were I guess they had that group that runs that, they
Hmm.
had tested some sites, some airsoft fields, and I guess the soil was getting like heavy metals. Did you find
Yeah,
out? Did you hear
it
about
was
that?
Yeah, it was a potential threat. It was not an actual threat.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't any contamination found, but there were concerns from some organizations, like government organizations, that those BBs could potentially contaminate the soil, but it's not an immediate threat right now. And I think that most locations are um, allowing more BB brands right now back. So it was limited to like 3 brands,
Yeah.
but slowly but steadily, more locations are allowing more BB brands. So that's been a real thing here in the
Okay.
Netherlands. People are really fed up because people would have piles and piles of BBs that weren't allowed, and some
Oh,
location even went as far as that you had to buy your BBs at the location at the time of the game. So
right.
that meant that you would have to buy a new bag of BBs every time you went there. So
Yep.
that would get a little expensive, and it isn't a cheap sport anyway. So that
Right.
upset a lot of people. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that's well that's the one big thing that like once you buy, as far as airsoft goes, the BBs are cheap, usually. So
Hmm.
that's once you get your gun, that's probably your gun and gear if you're playing Milsim or like skirmishes,
Hmm.
they're getting all that stuff, but you only have to buy it once. You buy your chest rig or plate
Hmm.
carrier once, you buy your gun once if it's, pretty decent, and then your
Yeah.
battery, is usually lasts a long time. So then
Yeah.
the BBs are pretty cheap. So
Hmm.
when Chris was telling me about this, he was talking like when they first came out with this, they said only .2s are allowed across the
Hmm.
board.
Yeah.
And I said, well,
So
what
that was.
what did the snipers do? What did they because their BBs are going like this.
Uh huh.
Oh
Yeah. So
yeah.
you're basically useless as a sniper with that rule.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad that that sanction has lifted, so we don't
Yeah.
have to use .2 BBs anymore. So we
Oh,
can
that's
go
good.
a little heavier. Yeah, yeah. I
Right.
usually shoot with .28 or .3.
Mm-hmm.
That's my go-to
Okay.
BB at the moment. Yeah,
And what's your main gun that you run?
ARP 556.
Okay.
It's like really compact. It's small, and I'm a midget. You can't see it right now, but I am a midget. I am a tiny person. So it's really convenient that guns like that exist. Um, so yeah, I usually prefer compact guns that are mostly used in a CQB environment, but I also use them outside,
Yeah.
obviously, because otherwise the gun would be heavier than I am. So that's just not practical. But I find that the range of the ARP 556 is actually pretty good, even outside. I even outrange some of the other guns that are supposed to be for long distance.
Yeah.
But we're talking airsoft, so it's
Right.
pretty, yeah.
They only go so far. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. Well, that's good. Yeah. Now, do you run a sidearm when you go?
yeah. I do a clock 17 at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was afraid it was going to be a little big because, well, I'm tiny. I have tiny hands,
Yeah.
but it's pretty okay. So I'm glad I got it. I have a TM Glock 17 right now,
Mm.
licensed. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is good.
I really like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot
The
of
only
people
thing
run that.
is, yeah, a lot of people like the Glocks. I think the Glock 19 is the most common
Right.
within the airsoft world, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's cool. Now, you
It,
do you play mostly like milsim types or skirmishes like woodland
yeah.
stuff?
Well, it's like a mix because Milsim events are well, they aren't in the Netherlands, so I always have to travel outside of the country.
Ah,
So that makes it a bit expensive to do
right.
Milsims, but I try to go at least to 3 or 4 Milsim events each year. And outside of that, of course, we do some skirmishes, or we go to our neighbors. We go to Belgium for a weekend and
Oh,
do
okay.
a skirmish there. Yeah,
So when you
and
go
we
to like
also
these
see it.
different, oh, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Well, we usually see those skirmishes as a way to train or to introduce friends who are new to airsoft to the sport. And
Right.
that's usually the goal of the skirmishes. Because
Sure.
the crowd is a little different, in my opinion, on just a day skirmish.
Hmm.
It can be a lot of fun, but sometimes it's just the vibe isn't there. People aren't really serious about it. They stop like 2 or 3 hours before end game, and yeah, that's just yeah. It takes out a lot of the fun that way.
Right. Well, you got to have a team of people on each side that is like, ready to go and excited about playing and gung ho. And, because if you're like, if
Yeah.
it's just you and three other people uh, that are like rushing forward and trying to take objectives or whatever,
Hmm.
and everyone else is kind of hanging back, like whatever, it
Yeah.
sucks having that.
Yeah, it does. It does. We had a few days actually where we had an objective and we were expecting enemies because they also had to get that same location, and we were waiting and waiting and nothing happened. And after half an hour, we were like, okay, so we got the points. Should we just look for people? And we went like 1.5 hour without finding anyone. So we
Oh my,
just decided to quit. We went to the safety zone and we saw that everybody was packing or was already packed and ready to leave. So that's the reason we couldn't find anyone. And yeah, that sucked out a lot of the fun that day.
yeah. There's so many people I've talked with on here that wide range of players. So there's the speed QB, like the indoor
Mm-hmm.
stuff, whatever. I've talked with a lot of people like that. I've talked with a lot of people that do the Milsims, and the
Mm-hmm.
on either end, whichever style they play, they like. So the people that do the speed QB, if they're really into airsoft, they really like playing, and they want the same from everyone else that's on their team and the other team. They'll usually do tournaments, and then the
Mm-hmm.
Milsims, they don't like the 1 day kind of open play either because of that, and they'll do these like more. They'll start getting into these more in depth kind of Milsims. So like they
Yeah.
have there's a few groups over here that run Milsims that do like a straight 40-hour Milsim
Mm-hmm.
or a
Mm-hmm.
48 hour. So it'll be once you
Yeah, that's
start,
awesome.
you're on the field. Both teams, you cannot quit. If you leave the field,
Mm-hmm.
then you're done. Like you have to leave for the whole weekend.
Yep.
And the tickets are
Yep.
more expensive, and it's a 3 day or 2.5 day thing or whatever. So they
Mm-hmm.
play nonstop through the night and everything for those 40 hours. So there's people that I've talked with that really like playing like you guys do, like what you're saying. They don't like when half their team quits or the other team quits because if you don't have any targets to shoot, it's not fun.
Mm-hmm.
and,
No, of course not.
yeah, so they really like these more intense kind of
Yeah,
milsim style things that are more realistic. And then
yeah,
because
that's
you
the same for
have
me.
both sides are really invested in winning,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's
Yeah,
it's a way better experience.
it is. It actually is. That's why I got into Milsim. It just intrigues me, and I've been to the UK
Mm.
to an event of Sterling Airsoft, and I've been to France, and it, those games were just amazing. So this year we're going to Sweden, Poland, France, Poland twice, I think.
Wow,
So yeah, that is just amazing. Those are the games that
that's cool.
I really live for. So
Yeah. So now
it's
are
like
so like
really
when
the
you go to
safety.
Belgium, do you guys you drive there? Like is it close enough to just
Hmm.
drive? Okay. And then when you
Yeah, it's
cross the
like
border,
4 hours.
oh, that ain't
Hmm.
bad at all. When you cross the border, do you
No,
have to go through like do they have to check all your gear like,
no.
like oh, we have airsoft
Well,
guns and that kind of
you
thing?
mean at the border? No, no, no. It's just free traveling in Europe. So
Oh,
between European countries, you can just travel. There are no checkpoints whatsoever where you
oh
have to show
shit.
your passport or whatever.
Oh, that's
So we
awesome.
can just travel freely to Belgium, and of course, at the location, depending on the rules, they do an FPS check
Right,
uh, to see if your gun is between the limits.
right.
Well, that's the only check
Okay.
you have. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking because when I talked to the guy Chris, he was talking about he wanted to go to an event in Germany, and
Oh,
he said
yeah.
something about a checkpoint that he had to go through that was like was going to be really, you know, a lot of like a pain in the ass to get everything
Uh-huh.
checked or whatever. So I didn't know if it was like that when you go to these other places.
Well, in Germany, the laws are a little bit different. So that
Mm.
means that your replica has to have an F mark
Oh,
um, to be legal, and it can only be single shot. So either you have a MOSFET in which you can install the how do you how do you say that?
what like
Uh,
the where you do the
yeah,
where you can
yeah,
the
you
electronic
change it.
trigger
Yeah,
where you
so
can
you change
adjust
it
it,
so you can shoot full auto,
the
or you have
programmable
just
trigger.
or you just uh, file off the selector
Oh,
thingy.
okay, okay.
See, this is how far my knowledge goes. But
Hey,
the
I
thing
don't
is,
know what it's called either.
I also have to translate it in my head, and
Hey,
sometimes
you're doing
that
great. You
ah,
are you speak very good English.
thank you,
You really do.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Netflix. That helps.
Well, when I message people, because I've on this podcast I've talked to so many different people in so many different countries, and
Hmm.
I usually look at their when I look at their Instagram, I'll look at a lot of their posts, and if their posts are in
Hmm.
the other language, I'll still message them and see like, hey, if because I
Yeah.
don't speak, because I've had a couple girls in Russia that
Hmm.
wanted to be on a podcast, but they don't speak good enough English, and I don't speak Russian, so
Mm.
uh,
That's yeah, it's a little
so it
hard.
kind of right. And then also in Brazil, and so I'll look at a lot of their posts. Well, pretty much all your posts are all your descriptions or whatever you
Hmm.
type is in English. I was like, oh, okay, maybe. And
Yeah.
so anyway, yeah, I usually check, and I'll throw a message out there anyway to see, because sometimes I don't know. There was a
Hmm.
girl in Brazil that like when I was looking at her Instagram, I was like, oh, all her posts are in Spanish. Well, maybe she doesn't, speak English. So I asked her anyway, and she's like, yeah, that'd be cool. And I was like, oh, so I saw one of the like a recent video she put up where she was in a local bar to her, like doing
Hmm.
karaoke, and she was
Hmm.
singing a Guns N' Roses song. So in
Nice,
English, and I was like, "Oh, okay, so
nice.
she's good." So, but yeah, you speak very good English.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Now, did
Yeah,
you?
but the funny thing is,
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, did you? So they teach you guys that growing up, like in schools and stuff. You
Yeah,
have to learn both languages.
yeah. Hmm.
Okay.
From like your school system is a little different, but from like the age I think um 10, 11, you also have English class. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's mandatory even.
Right. Now, what's your
But the funny
native
thing is,
language?
my native language is Dutch.
Yeah.
I am half Turkish, half Dutch, but I
Okay.
don't speak Turkish.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible immigrant.
How dare you? How dare
How
you?
dare I? Well, that I hear that a lot when I'm in Turkey because they can see
Yeah.
I'm Turkish.
Yeah.
Um, my hair, brown eyes, big nose. Um,
You look
but
great.
they just start talking in Turkish to me, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I don't know what the frick you're saying," and then they mostly get mad and tell
Yeah.
me to tell my dad that you should have taught me
Oh, okay. So your
Turkish.
dad's
So yeah,
Turkish.
yeah, my mom's Dutch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you grow up? Were you born in Turkey, or did you grow up
No,
in
no, no.
Turkey?
I was born. No, I was born and raised in the Netherlands.
Okay.
So
Do you
yeah,
have siblings?
yeah. I have a little sister,
Yeah.
also born in the Netherlands. Grew up
Okay.
here also.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Does she know you're into airsoft?
yeah, she does.
Okay. What does
I
she think
tried
about
to
it?
get her. Yeah, she doesn't like it. I tried to get her to go, but she's not interested. So that's kind of
Gotcha.
sad. I thought we could maybe get, a common, yeah, the same hobby,
Yeah.
but sadly, she doesn't like it.
Uh, yeah, that's too bad.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, do you when I was talking with somebody in the UK and they said, well, actually this is across the board. Most people I've talked with, their siblings or their family, they don't, most of them are not into airsoft. They're into airsoft, but their
Hmm.
family's not. And I think the common thing I've heard is they'll when they tell their family or their family sees like, what are you doing? What is this? And they'll tell them, yeah, I'm playing airsoft, and they're
Hmm.
like, what? Those little plastic toy guns, and
Yeah,
like they don't understand.
my yeah, yeah. Most people don't understand or don't even know what it is. My grandma's actually pretty mad at me for doing at the air, yeah, for playing airsoft. She doesn't like it at all. But she's at the age she was in the war, of course.
Uh,
She was young at that time, but she still has a trauma, so she doesn't like me playing airsoft. She doesn't get it, and that's
because of the
totally fine, and I
guns.
respect that. So whenever I'm around her, I just don't talk about it, and I try
Uh,
not to post any pictures of me with guns or camouflage clothing on my personal accounts
gotcha.
because she follows me, of course.
Yeah. Well,
So
yeah, I was
yeah,
gonna
but
say probably the guns or whatever. She doesn't like that. Yeah. Okay.
it brings her back to those days. So yeah, it's pretty sad, but
Right. Yep.
we don't talk about it. So whenever she asks me, "What did you do this weekend?" I just try to change the subject. Because
We went
whenever I
we went on a
say,
picnic.
"Yeah, we went for a stroll in the woods,"
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
yeah.
You're not lying.
No, 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 not at all. So that's actually pretty safe choice, safe
Right.
go-to answer.
I hear you.
But the funny thing is, most people don't even know that airsoft exists. Like, they ask me for my hobbies, and I mention airsoft, and they're just looking at me like, "The fuck you talking about?"
What is that?
So it's pretty fun to explain it every time. I usually just tell people that it's playing military with plastic toys. So
Right. Yeah, I was talking with a
yeah.
guy last like 2 weeks ago, and he said, I think something like, well, airsoft, maybe they'll put it on like, they'll televise it, put it on ESPN or
Hmm.
something. I said, no. I said most people don't, most people don't know what airsoft is. I think that's what we were talking about. He was saying
Hmm.
something about how many people know about airsoft, and I was like, nobody knows airsoft. Like the general public. I said it's only
Hmm.
airsofters that know airsoft, and paintballers,
Yeah.
paintball and
Exactly.
airsoft.
Exactly.
But everyone outside of that, no one's heard of it. So if you just ask like the general, if you went to the store and you wore airsoft shirt, like I've had people like guys younger than me that are like,
Hmm.
my age or younger, and they see the word airsoft, they look at the shirt they like they've never seen the word before, and I'm going, bro, it's airsoft. Like it's like paintball. They're like, oh, okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 I always ask if people know paintball, and most people know what that is. So that's the
Yep.
easy way to explain things. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Oh yeah.
Well, we've also had some people. mostly kids come up to us like, "Are you in the military?" And then we have to
Right.
disappoint them because we're totally not. At least I'm not.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad to see their faces when you have to disappoint them because they wanted to be in a picture with you. You know, it's awesome, a picture with a
Right.
military person, but sadly, I'm not.
Yeah. We're just pretending, okay?
Yeah, we're just, we're big kids. We're not
Yeah.
adults.
Right. Well, being an adult sucks, okay? Like
Sometimes,
that's
yeah.
boring, you know? Being an adult is boring. You got to stay you got to be excited about something in life. And,
Yeah.
kids to me, little kids are excited about pretty much everything. And adults, usually get in the rut of life, working,
Mm-hmm.
and they get all stressed out and they're like, this sucks and whatever, and if they don't have a fun hobby, most airsofters I've talked
Mm-hmm.
with, no matter what age, they're because of that hobby and because of that sport, they're excited about life. Like they always have this goal and this purpose that they're
Mm-hmm.
working towards, whether it's upgrading
Exactly.
their stuff or buying a new, oh, we signed up for this event and they
Uh-huh.
require whatever kind of gear. So, oh, we got to get this. It gives you something
Mm-hmm.
to be, happy and excited about. And then of course
Mm-hmm.
go and play. You have this teamwork and camaraderie, as long as the other
Yeah.
side doesn't quit and you're out there wandering around the woods for 2 hours. But
Uh-huh. Of course, yeah.
oh Jesus,
Yeah, it's really fun, and for me, it's about be also about being outside and being offline for a bit because
yeah,
um, I have what you call an office job, so I
mm,
I sit behind my laptop most of the day.
yeah,
So yeah, it's pretty nice to be outside, to be physically active. But um, well, the thing about Milsim is you also have to think about tactics. You have to
hmm,
think of strategy. So that actually combines everything that I like to do. I like to be physically active, but I also like to think. I'm always in my head. I'm a real thinker.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's just a different approach to things. That's why I
right,
like it so much.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. It definitely gets you. I mean, you have something to look forward to and put your time into,
Yeah,
outside of work. And it's definitely a good thing for that.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And it's like a mini vacation
Yep.
when you go abroad. So that's also amazing. You see just places you wouldn't see when you're not airsofting.
Yeah.
So that's also awesome, I think.
Yeah, you were talking about all these different places you're going. Like,
Hmm.
it's so cool to hear somebody, that travels to all these different countries, because even though they might be close to where, to your location, you still, when you go to France or something, it might be close compared to me going to France here from
Hmm.
America, but you still have this different culture. You have different things. You have, maybe the clothing's
Definitely.
different, maybe the food's different, maybe you know,
Hmm.
the whole vibe is different, and you get to
Definitely.
experience that. I think it's really good for people to see that in person. Those different
Hmm.
cultures, I think it broadens our, obviously our experience, but also it opens our mind to, I guess what happened to me when I went in the military. I went, my first duty station was in Japan, and
Hmm.
this is back a long time ago. I'm older, so this is before,
That's
way
okay.
before the internet. Okay, so I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know anything about Japan, and
Hmm.
I remember my mom being really afraid that of me going over there, not because of war or I was in the military or anything. It was the
Uh-huh.
spiritual part, because I grew up Christian and
Mm.
Catholic, and and she was thinking like, oh, they're not, they're a non-Christian, people or whatever.
community. Yeah.
Yeah, and so she was really afraid of that. Like, and I get over there and I'm like, I had these kind of like fears and expectations I didn't know, and
Hmm.
it made me realize, like, you know what? People, no matter where you go, are people. Like we all enjoy some of the basics in life. Like we like some community. We like to be around each other. We like to let people do their own thing. Like, oh, that's cool. It's interesting to see, and you learn all these different things in different cultures and how they do
Hmm.
things or whatever. And but I remember she was so worried about it, and I was like, I would write, a letter or talk to her on the
Oh.
phone, and be like, no, it's like they're great here, like they're totally fine.
Uh-huh.
It's not, they're not trying to convert me to Buddhism or something.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
But there was a lot of the internet's helped kind of
Mm, yeah,
expand, get
definitely.
people over, more informed about different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
But back then it was like she was so afraid, and I had all these like,
I
oh,
get
I don't
that.
know I don't know what's going to happen. But
Uh-huh.
it was great. But it was a
Mm-hmm.
really good experience to do that, and it opened my eyes to like, hey man, we're all the same. Like
Yeah, we are.
basically we're all the same. We eat different
Mm-hmm.
foods. We go to a different kind of looking building for maybe a church or whatever we do,
Mm-hmm.
for that. But we're all basic. All the basics are the same. Like we're
We're
all,
all human.
yeah,
We
dude,
all
we're
have
all
to
good.
eat. Yeah, we all have to sleep,
Hmm.
etc. Yeah. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's pretty good that um we are more able to educate ourselves and others on
right.
other cultures.
Yeah, for sure. So when you go, so you've been to other countries already playing airsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Yeah.
you notice a difference with like how the style of play, or maybe their
Mm-hmm.
different rules, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, yeah, as far as airsoft goes, it's pretty much
Yeah,
the same. Yeah, in some countries like Germany, you can only have replicas that are single shot.
yeah.
So, but most Milsims, to be honest, do have a single shot rule.
Hmm.
But in Germany, your replica shouldn't be able at all to
Oh, I
shoot
gotcha.
full auto.
Right.
So yeah, that is like the only difference. But there isn't a difference in um,
Like the gameplay and all
tactics
that.
or
Yeah.
whatever. No, no, no. That's just basic military knowledge, and maybe some people base their tactics off of special forces of their country. So maybe that could be small differences, but I haven't. In practice, you don't notice anything about that. You don't see it.
Right.
So there's no obvious differences.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, it's good you guys are getting out and traveling like that. A lot of people, once they get into airsoft and they start getting, where they really love it,
Hmm.
and they love playing, they travel. Like even a lot of people here, they'll travel,
Yeah.
maybe not to different countries as much, but different states here in
Mm,
America. They go all over the place, from
yeah.
East Coast to West Coast. And the people I was
Yeah.
talking to last night, they're in Missouri, which is kind of like
Hmm.
in the middle of the country, and they're coming to an event at the end of this month here in my state in South Carolina. And they were asking me, hey, are you going to this event? Because it's like, because it's only like 2 hours away from me. And
Hmm.
and I was like, I haven't signed up for it. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway,
Hmm.
yeah, there's a lot of people that travel state to state, whether it's
Mm.
milsim
Oh.
stuff, mostly milsim, but there are people that
Hmm.
travel the speed QB
Okay.
tournaments. Yeah, they'll do the indoor tournaments and stuff at different locations.
Yeah.
But most of them don't really
Yeah.
travel to another country, you know?
Well, yeah. I don't know if there's a specific reason for that, but I think you're on a whole different skill. I mean, I can cross the whole of the Netherlands in like 3 hours.
Oh
So
shit.
they've seen it all.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's just easy for us to travel from uh, country to country, at least within the European Union. And I
Yeah.
think airsoft is played in a lot of European countries.
Hmm.
So I think that is also a reason that uh, us Europeans travel a lot more to other countries.
Yeah.
I would also love to come to America sometime to do some Milsims because the scale of the events is like off the charts, like thousands and thousands of players, and
Hmm.
it would be really, really awesome to go over
Yeah.
there sometime. But it's a long flight, and flying with replicas is going to be, I don't know, to the States, it's going to be hard, I think, because,
Right.
they're at least at the airport, I think they're going to be really strict about everything. You have to go through like
Yep.
3, 4, 5, 6 checkpoints before you get your guns back. I don't know if the hassle is worth it yet,
Right.
but maybe in the future.
So you know what I've heard is when people do that, they'll
Hmm.
have they'll have a contact in this, in the
Okay.
United States, and they'll ship their stuff. So they'll
Uh,
just box it up
yeah,
and pay to ship it,
easier.
and then you just fly with yourself, and
Hmm.
or you
That's really smart, actually.
yeah. So they'll have somebody that they know that's going to that event, somebody they contact or whatever, and they trust, and they'll ship it to them,
Hmm.
and then when they get there, they already have all their stuff, and then they'll ship it back. So
Yeah.
it's expensive, it's an extra cost
Mm.
to do that, but
But
it's
it's expensive anyway when you
yeah,
want to travel from here to the
right.
States. So yeah, it's like, well, I went to New York once, and that was like an 8 hour flight, I
Okay.
think. So depending on which state you're going to, it's a really long flight. So you just don't want that hassle. You don't
Yeah.
want to be like delayed, or not delayed, but you don't want to be at the airport for like an additional 3 hours just to get your security clearance.
Right. Yeah, that
Um,
sucks.
I'm flying to Sweden this month, at the end of this
Oh,
month,
okay.
with replicas. So I'm just gonna see how that goes, and that's a short flight. So let's just
Hmm.
hope for the best, that we're gonna make it on time.
Yeah. And they don't
So
lose all your
yeah.
stuff, and they don't take all your stuff.
Mm. Oh my goodness, that would be my worst nightmare.
Oh shit, I shouldn't have
That's
said
a
it.
lot of money in that box.
Hmm. Right.
Well, actually, we've already I don't know what the word is, but I think declared it to KLM that we're going to fly
Mm.
with replicas, and we've already had to send them all the info, like what brand, what type of replica are you bringing with you, how many magazines are you taking with
Uh,
you, how much ammo, etc., etc. So I think that part is like fixed, but it's just now hoping that everything goes well at the airport
right.
itself. So yeah.
For sure. Well, I'll just ask the question now. Anyone that's listening right now or watching this podcast, if you have experience with that, leave a note in the comments for us, or where we could find information on that. Some way that makes it easier to travel with that kind of stuff. I'm sure there is, a way to do it, because I've seen a lot of, big time airsofters that,
Mm-hmm.
go to the States back and forth, or different countries. I know Kicking Mustang, he
Mm-hmm.
recently went to South Africa and played.
Yeah.
He flies all over the
No-
place, Novrich,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
amazing. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So there's definitely ways to do it.
Yeah, of course, of course. And I also think that if you do it, yeah, a lot, then you know what could go wrong. You know what things you have to keep in
Yeah,
mind, or things you have to address before flying with replicas. So I think the more you do it, the more you know, and the
right.
easier it gets.
For sure. Now, are you and your boyfriend on a Milsim team, or like an airsoft team, an official team?
Well, he's quit Airsoft, so he's
Oh,
not on the team anymore, or at
okay.
least not officially, non-active. And I'm a member, yeah,
Okay.
of the team. We're like, I think now with eight, yeah, I think eight active
Okay.
people. So it's pretty fun. We're a tight knit group, and yeah, we also help each other, with private things like moving from one house to another, uh, yeah, stuff like that. And yeah, well, we try to train a lot together to actually get better, to be a good team, a functioning team,
Yeah.
so we can contribute to the game, to the Milsim game. So yeah, that's
Right.
pretty fun.
And
Yeah.
how did you get on a team?
Well, the first team was actually through my boyfriend. There was at some point a no girl policy, but they scratched that policy, so that's great. I could join
Good.
them.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm on a different team right now, and I just I don't even remember how I got on it. I met someone on the field one day, and I just because I went there alone.
Oh,
So and I just joined some random group that was there, a random team, and so we met up later, and we were like, okay, maybe I could join the team, and well, that's that's kind of how it went. So now I'm on the team again, the only woman on the team. I'm the diversity card, the immigrant and the woman. So,
oh shit.
yeah, so I'm their diversity card. So we joke around about that a lot. But we have a lot of fun together, and we can talk shit about each other. But
Yeah.
we're great friends, and we can handle that.
Yeah, for sure. That's good. Well, there's so many women I've talked with on here that they are one of the few in their area
Yeah.
or on that field or whatever. The most I've seen so far is in the UK. There's a couple
Mhm.
spots in the UK, a couple of fields where a lot of the girls that I've talked with, they have 5 to 10 girls now that go to that one
Mhm.
field, or close to the other one. And there's a couple groups that started. There's one here in America that
Nice.
started on Instagram called FTW, for the women.
Ah,
That
nice.
was actually started by one of the girls I did a podcast with just a couple weeks ago, and that is in Georgia. And then,
Mhm.
but it's spreading out, wherever. And then there's a group in the UK called UCAL. Have you heard of that?
No,
It's
no,
the
I haven't.
the UK Airsoft Ladies, so UCAL.
Mhm.
So that's growing, and they're trying to get their goal. I think they're having this month. Uh, Now, this is a few months ago. I talked with somebody that was talking about this, and they were planning on having their goal was to get 50 women at this
Yeah.
field to play this
Yeah.
event in June, so that they could have a full team on their own to play against the
Uh
guys.
huh.
And,
Awesome.
yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
was like,
I
dude, that would
like
be
that.
so cool. She said, yeah, we can't wait to go out there and beat all the guys. I was like, well, I don't know about beating them, but
Ah,
we'll see.
yeah. We could definitely beat them. Definitely.
Uh,
There's like an airsoft location 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes away from my home,
yeah,
and they have space for just over 200 people every day, or at least weekend.
right.
And they're like three women at a game, and that's just it's so sad. But 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 I reckon that even with three women, we could beat them because we're sneaky. We're sneaky. We
Right?
can do it. But
That's
we would
funny.
have to get like 100 women to go to that location. It would
Yeah.
be awesome. Hmm.
Well, airsoft's
I'm
one,
intrigued.
a good sport for. It's kind of like what I like about it is that You don't have to, airsoft doesn't have to change the rules for anyone, right?
Mm-mm.
So across the board, right? You can play. These are the rules. This is what it is. If you're in a
Yep.
wheelchair or a female or a guy or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
this is the rules. This is the standard. It doesn't change for anyone. And you all go out there and
Yeah.
play and have fun. Whereas like other sports, maybe like basketball or football or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
American football or something, it would be, you couldn't
Yeah.
really have, two girls on one of the teams where they're like your size,
Mm-hmm.
going up against a 350 pound, NFL player.
Like a
It wouldn't
big
be, it wouldn't be
disadvantage.
fair. Right. But airsoft is fair across the board. So you
Yeah,
can use your tactics, you use your size to your advantage. There's all kind of things that
definitely.
make it a level playing field, which I love because a lot of these women are trying to get in because it's a fun sport, it's cool to do,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want people I've talked with. They don't want special treatment. The girls I've
No,
talked
of
with,
course not. Of course
uh,
not.
treat
Mm-hmm.
me like everyone else, because I was talking to somebody, they said, most of the time we're all geared up and they don't like the guys won't know that I'm a female until I call my hit. They'll say, they'll shoot me or whatever, and I'll go and I call my hit, and they'll go,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, you're a girl," and she's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, so," like, whatever, dude,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, especially when you wear a mask. My hair used to be longer, so usually my hair would just come out under the mask. But yeah, mostly people don't know you're a girl on the field, especially when you wear like a plate carrier,
Hmm.
hiding all the features and stuff.
Right,
So yeah, it's crazy that people suddenly think they have to act differently or something like that just because there's a woman around. But
right,
eh, yeah, but it is kind of a man's world right now
sure.
because you know
That's how it started.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
think it would be great if more women would join. But I do see why some women are a little hesitant to join the airsoft world because, well, it is a man's world, and some men are not
assholes.
always the most respectful.
Right.
Yeah, they're
Well, they
assholes
they have
sometimes.
they have this. I think they're raised with this idea that uh, y'all do this, whatever that is, and
Mm,
we do this, and you're not allowed to do this because that's what we're doing.
hmm.
And like I said,
Yeah,
in certain things, I think that's true, right? Like I said, NFL. If you want to
hmm,
join the NFL,
definitely.
it's not really it's not a level playing field. I
Hmm,
don't think, I don't agree with like the NFL shouldn't have to change their rules to accommodate
hmm,
females, right? Uh, Maybe females should just start their own NFL kind of thing. But airsoft, you don't have to do
hmm.
that. Airsoft is
Exactly.
all across the board equal treatment. Like these are the
Yeah,
base rules. This
definitely.
is how we play. If you can follow
Hmm.
those rules, that's what we're doing. So
Yeah,
I think it's a really fair, fun sport to get into. That is a
definitely.
level playing field for women. I think it's great. I think there should be uh, so many that you could have 100 women on a team and then go against the guys, and it's fun. It's fun to do that kind of stuff, and
Hmm.
that
Yeah,
competition is all in fun. It's good. It's a good time
definitely. Definitely. And most airsofters are like really nice and they try to
for
be
sure.
helpful
Yep.
always. So I think that most of the airsoft community is like really, really great and always tries to help out, give advice or, is interested in what gear are you wearing
Yeah.
and, why do you use that and not this? And I think that's pretty fun. Makes for good conversation. I'm sometimes a little socially awkward. So it helps that other people are able to initiate a conversation and
Yeah.
just be, nice and fun. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Well, you also have the thing with you can be unique. So in your gear,
Yeah.
you might have the same plate carrier as everyone else, but you could put different patches on it, or all kind of different stuff on your equipment or
Definitely.
whatever. I was talking with a girl in Austria who does 3D printing. So she
Hmm.
made her own stock. The butt stock she made
Nice.
for her, I forget what gun she runs, but maybe like an M4 type of thing. And
Uh-huh.
she made a solid stock that had a heart cut out in the middle. So she 3D printed this, and I
Nice.
think it was pink. I think it was pink because she likes all this, all the pink stuff. And
Uh-huh.
and so her gear is like she's printing all these things to make it unique for her. And
Uh-huh.
when you go to the field, like those things are accepted. Like you have all these different people in
Yeah.
different backgrounds uh, that play airsoft. You got military veterans, you've got nerds that, like computer
Yeah.
nerds, right? That sit behind a desk and code
Mm-hmm.
and all this stuff. That never been in the military, and they come together in the
Uh-huh.
airsoft field, like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Like
Yep.
most of the time there's no hate. Most of the time there's no hate. I understand the girl thing where they're like, man, you're not supposed to be out here. This is this is a guy thing, whatever. But
Uh-huh.
that'll go away eventually. That'll
Yeah, it
eventually
will. It
start
will.
going away. Yeah.
It will. It's the same for, the stairs. The fun thing is when I go to an event, um, well, I'm getting there in normal clothing because we're not allowed to travel in full
Oh,
camo clothing. Um,
what do you mean? You're not
so
allowed to
yeah, you come.
drive there
No.
in the Netherlands?
Well, technically you are.
Yeah.
You are allowed to wear camouflage clothing, but you're not allowed to wear, the ranking patches,
Mm,
um, unless you're in the military, of course.
gotcha.
But um, the NABP, uh, yeah, I don't know if it is an exact rule. If you go to an airsoft event, you can't travel in camouflage clothing,
Huh.
full camouflage clothing.
Wow.
So I can wear like my combat pants and a normal jacket or a normal shirt on top,
Yeah.
but I can't come in combat shirt and combat pants
Gotcha.
to an airsoft location. So yeah, it's sometimes it's just rules, complicated, annoying rules.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, so I always go there in my normal casual clothing, and when you walk to, you look for a space where you can sit and change and everything. And there's just like stairs. Oh my God, there's a girl today. Oh my God, what is she doing? And they also expect you to have like gear or clothing from a boyfriend or a friend who plays airsoft, a guy friend who plays
Yeah.
airsoft. And then I get out all my midget clothing and everything fits, and they're like, and it's fun. It's actually fun to
Right.
see.
Well, that's most of the women I've talked to, they that's something that they've said as well. They're like, I get there and I start putting all my gear on. They're like, that's your own,
What?
that's your
Yeah.
own stuff. Like, yeah, I got my own shit. Like, what do you think, bro? Like, I'm playing all the time. Yeah, maybe the first time you borrow, your boyfriends or brothers, whoever got you into it
Hmm.
stuff. But no, you get your own shit. Like, if you like doing it, you're gonna get your own stuff, especially the clothing,
Yeah.
because most of the cami stuff does not, is not really accommodating to females. So, like you said, it's
It is.
5 times too big, or you know,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
doesn't fit
the
right in the
female
waist and
form.
hips. Right.
Yeah, yeah, it's a struggle. I still haven't found pants that actually fit right. So if listeners, our female listeners, have any tips,
Right.
that would be great because I'm still struggling with it. Because either it will be too wide or
Hmm.
too tight around the hip area and then too wide
Yep.
around
At
the
the
waist.
waist.
So yeah, that
Yeah, it's
is
got
for
to
me.
be small waist, and then it's got to, go around. Because guys, you know, we're pretty much straight.
Usually,
Our hips,
yeah,
yeah, are straight.
yeah,
Like the waist, and then our hips go down. It's all straight. Like so, it doesn't really
yeah.
have to,
Mm-hmm.
fit that way. But one of the girl I talked to in Austria, she wears these like heavier uh, yoga pants, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever you call those, and they're camouflaged. They're like yeah, they look really cool. In
And
fact,
that hurts. That
oh
should
yeah,
hurt when you get
yeah,
hit.
oh sure, but it looks
Okay, that's not
cool.
comfortable.
Okay.
It looks cool though. It looks, yeah, yeah, okay.
I mean, that's half of
Oh,
airsoft. Come on now, you got to look cool
yeah, true, true. Yeah, that is a requirement.
for
That's
sure.
not. It's not. But it should. I do think, airsoft is not like, you don't have to look pretty. You don't have to look
Right.
amazing or anything. But it would be nice to have like normal
Well,
fitting
sure.
clothes. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Something that's functional, and when you put it on,
Hmm.
you feel good because, like, yeah, I like the way these look. This is cool. Now, when before you got into airsoft, did you have any other hobbies that you were into?
A lot, actually. Well, I had horses, so I was really like a
Hmm.
horse. Yeah, we call it a horse girl here, but it sounds really stupid in English. Anyways, I had horses, and I was there pretty much every day, and I loved every second of it.
Hmm.
But at some point, my horse, um, uh, she got like, well, what is it in English? Let's just say she got sick.
Hmm.
She's still alive, but she is not fit for actually
Hmm.
uh, sport. So she's just there on in a meadow eating grass, getting fat, and all that.
Oh, it's too
Horses
bad.
and also field hockey. You call it field
Oh,
hockey, I
wow.
think. Yeah, that was a big thing. I did that for like uh, I think 10 or 12 years.
Okay.
Did a bit of kickboxing. I really liked that.
Damn.
Um, yeah, going to the gym.
Okay.
That's been an on and off again thing. And at this moment, I try to go to the gym like 5 or 6 times a week.
Yeah.
I don't always manage to go that many times, but I try to.
What?
Um,
You're
so
slacking.
yeah, that I am. I am terrible. Say that to my biceps.
uh,
Well, anyways, so yeah, at this moment, it's mainly airsoft and going to the gym,
yeah.
and well, I'm really great at Netflix binging as well. Really great at it.
What was the last good, or what show you watching now, or what was the last good show you watched?
Well, right now we're watching Stranger Things from
Hmm.
season 1 because the new season released.
Yep.
Well, at least here just now, so
Yep. Same here.
probably release. Okay, okay.
Yep.
But most of the time, we have a little delay between the release date
Uh,
in the States and here. But
gotcha.
okay, that's great. So we're watching it from season 1 over again, so we can
Okay.
be really invested in what happened before, and yeah.
Right.
So that's what we're watching right
We
now.
just
But
watched, we're watching it as well, my wife and I, and it is,
nice.
so we just finished we're going to start the last episode of the new
Uh-huh.
season tonight. So
Nice.
we're almost done
Don't
with it.
spoil anything.
Oh, let me tell you about,
Nice.
no, I'm just kidding.
No, no, la 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 la.
Can you imagine?
I'll just throw away my headset.
Oh God, for real. That'd be horrible. No, I would never do that.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I watch a lot of shows on Netflix, like a variety of shows. I also like to watch films about, uh, history and
Mm.
stuff, documentaries, or anything food related. To be honest, I like
Who,
food a lot.
yeah. Who doesn't like food?
Um, there are some people who are as passionate about food, but yeah, I like food a lot, and I like to cook also.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe that's another hobby of mine. I like to cook. Like I like to do dinner parties with like
Oh, nice.
4, 5, 6 courses.
Wow.
But yeah, I think that's really fun. I'm not saying I'm good at it, but I like to do it. I like to make those courses. I like to think about which um, which ingredients go well together, and I
Yeah.
Google the shit out of that because I'm not educated on that subject.
Yeah.
I
So what's your
wine
so give me an
pairing.
idea of what you make for a 4 or 5 course, a big dinner. What
Okay,
is it? What's your best one?
okay. Can you still see me? Because I'm
Yeah.
okay. Good. Um, I'm just gonna look it up. This is an 8 course meal, I think. So the first course is like cold uh, tiger shrimp with aioli, and then with a pairing matching wine like um, a Chablis or Chenin Blanc. And then the second course is salmon sashimi with a little side salad.
Yeah.
And course three is vegetarian. Oh, I don't know what steak. Yeah, steak tartare
Steak?
tartar. What? I don't know what that is in English. Okay, hear me struggle. Okay, course four is like a clear soup,
Mm,
and course five is salmon with a special sauce. Course six is stuffed chicken fillet with tomato salsa, and course seven is uh, I don't know if it's the same in English, but prunado
mm.
with red wine sauce. So that's some sort of steak with
Okay.
a red wine sauce, and then to top it off, uh, we end the course with creme brulee.
I have heard
So
of
that's
that.
all. That's 8 courses,
Dang. That's wild.
and then with
Okay.
all wines, all different wines with every course.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm gonna make this summer. Like I think in July with a few friends.
Yeah, that is cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Well,
Good.
at least I'm stressing on the day I'm cooking because it is a lot to make in a normal kitchen, but
Right.
it's fun. I really enjoy it, and it brings people together, and I really like bringing people together and seeing others happy and enjoying themselves
Right.
by something I organize. So yeah,
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Well, very cool. Well, listen, it's been great meeting you and talking with you. You did
yeah.
great. I could not tell you're awkward
Thank you.
or at all. You did wonderful.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
And I when I do these, it's like I said earlier, I just I made a new friend. That's it. So
Hmm.
we're just chatting. It's no big deal. It's not
Yeah.
professional. So yeah, I
Really
really.
happy it's not professional that way because I
I
would
mean,
freak
dude, look
out.
at me. Okay, there's no. I can't even. I don't know what I'm
It
doing
would
half the
feel
time.
like I would feel like taking an exam at school. That
No,
stress I
hell
can deal
no.
with it.
Right? No, no, no. No, this is not set up to be like, you know, uh, so when did you get into airsoft? What exactly did you like, bro? We're just
Hmm.
chatting, we're just
Yeah.
BSing, and we'll see where the conversation goes. And sometimes it's mostly airsoft, sometimes it's mostly something else, whatever.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. It
um,
was it was good fun. So thank you for
oh,
having
good.
me.
Of course. Well, thanks for being on. Where can people find you on online?
They can find me on Instagram. The Instagram handle is Miss Milsim. Um, I'm also on Facebook, but that's like the same content. Um, so yeah,
Okay.
mostly Instagram. I'm mostly active on that
Okay.
platform, and I'm
Perfect.
hoping I can shoot some videos of the event in Sweden. I'm going to at the end of this month. Um, don't judge when the video is terrible, because it's my first time ever shooting with a GoPro at a Milsim event.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna have to figure out how the hell I'm gonna edit that, because well, I'm not really great with those types of activities. So I'll have to figure out how I'm gonna do that, because but I may be on YouTube very soon.
Good. Well, listen, everyone that's listening, put comments about how, recommendations for her to for a new GoPro user and editing. Okay, and I have some recommendations as well. I've been doing it for a few years, but I'm
Nice.
not good at it. Okay, I'm okay. I just get by. But there's a lot more people out there that know a lot more. So everyone,
Yeah.
put your stuff down here so she can get some tips. But thank you again, and I appreciate you being on here.
Thank you for having me. Have a
Awesome.
great have a great day.
Yeah, you have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right. Bye
Bye.
bye.